Alright. So, chapter 3. Chapter 1, we kind of went through each ability individually and talked about the basic rotation for single target. Chapter 2, we kind of reiterated the rotation for single target, which, again, you really want to drill it into your mind. Like, you don't want Rake to fall off. You don't want Rip to fall off and for it to be down. You want your maximum uptime for Rake and Rip. Savage Roar can never fall off. You gotta have perfect uptime on Savage Roar. And then we talked about what happens when you run out of energy. So when you run out of energy, you can shift out and you can cast Gift of the Wild, which will give you a clear cast, and go back in. That's a great thing to do when you have no energy. There's one other thing you can do when you have no energy, which is really good, which is called Bear Weaving. So I'll cover that. But Bear Weaving is really good also when you don't have a Fury Warrior in your raid composition, so you need to be in Feral of some kind, like you need to be in either cat or bear form to be giving Leader of the Pack. You can't be Flower Weaving because it's going to decrease your raid's DPS. So, two things about when you switch into bear form. Number one, we have Furor. Gives you 100% chance to gain 10 energy when you shapeshift into bear and dire bear form. And so every time you switch into bear form, you get 10 rage. So with 10 rage, we can maul. And with 15 rage, we can mangle. And with 13 rage, we can lacerate. The best ability in terms of damage is mangle. Like, it gives you the most damage per rage, I think. Maul is also very good. And Lacerate is an amazing ability that will also deal shit tons of damage. Now remember, because you mangle them, Lacerate's dealing even more damage because it's a bleed effect. So all of these abilities are good, but Mangle has the longest cooldown. It's a 6-second cooldown, so you can really only use it like once if you're going to switch into bear form. And Maul is going to replace your auto attack, and it's not going to give you rage back as much as an auto attack will. So here's what I would say. You're in cat form, you're doing your normal rotation, you run out of energy. Switch into bear form. Whatever you do, do not maul first. If you maul first, that 10 rage that you have is going to go to 0. You didn't auto attack, so you're not going to be eligible to gain more rage. You always want to really, like, maybe just try to drill it into your head. You want to auto attack once in bear form. And then you can, probably once you auto attack once, you'll have like 20-30 rage, and you can mangle plus maul, or maybe maul plus lacerate, depending on what you're trying to do. And now, let's say you get like 3 auto attack lengths, like 1 auto attack, 1 mangle plus maul, maybe 1 mangle plus 1 maul plus lacerate, like 3 auto attack cycles in bear, which is actually kind of a long time. It's like 5 seconds or something like that, 6 seconds. Then you go back into cat form. Now, what's cool about that is that while you're in bear form, using that rage, you're dealing shit tons of damage because mangle, maul, and lacerate actually do a lot of damage. When you go back into cat form, you can have up to 100 energy. So like you can actually be pooling energy that whole time you're in bear form. You go back into cat form, and now you're like, boom, rake, shred, put up my rip, refresh savage roar, whatever you needed to do. The other really cool thing about being in bear form, switching to bear form, is that you can refresh your mangle, which is a 60-second, it lasts 60 seconds. You can refresh your mangle using bear mangle. They like share. So even though, yeah, exactly. So like they both apply the exact same debuff, and you can refresh it using bear form. So that means you never have to mangle in cat form as long as you do bear weaving. So let's take a look at what this actually looks like. So I'm going to try to do basically the optimal rotation using bear weaving. actually gonna wait on this. Red? Fair. Now here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go lacerate, lacerate, lacerate. Now I'm gonna swap. I had almost full energy in cat form. I'm gonna refresh my Savage Roar there, because I see my rip's coming up. Now I'm not really doing this correctly because it's really fucking hard and it's kind of hard for me to do two things at once, like talk and think and do this at the same time. But I am not swapping into bear form. So now I'm going to go to bear form and I'm going to mangle. And I'm going to maul. And I'll switch back. Refresh this. That was kind of bad. I probably won't have enough time here to get my 5 combo points. Okay, I got saved. Let's do it. Bear form. So I'm spamming Mangle. Now Mangle's not going to do anything until you get that first auto attack, which is perfect. Back. Now, when you're doing bear weaving optimally, okay, this is where it really gets pushed to the point where you're like, this isn't even like fun anymore. Like this is too hard. You have to keep lacerate up, okay? That's the pro bear weaving. And see how I let rip fall off for like quite a long time. That's horrible. You never want to do that. See if I can get this. Lacerate, lacerate. Yes, got it. Lacerate again. So this is why Cat is the hardest DPS class, or one of them at least. Angle, let's lacerate. Gotta kept it up. Now I have Tiger's Fury coming up, so I really want to use that at the first opportunity. So I'm gonna let this lacerate fall off. Don't stress about lacerate, right? Like it's fucking impossible to do it perfect. This is bad. This rip is gonna be sitting there for a long time. Oh, saved, saved, saved by the Omen of Clarity proc. Now I just tried to bear shift, and I just got a Omen of Clarity. So I'm gonna, okay, whatever, stop. So I mean, like, this is all advanced stuff, and it's stuff that you just need to practice, but like, you'll learn, like, okay, I swapped into bear form, but then I got an Omen of Clarity proc. I could mangle, but really, it would probably be more damage if I just go back into cat form and do shred. So like, there's lots of little things like this, and this is stuff that you'll just have to like learn through practice and trial and error. But that is bear weaving, and optimally, you are keeping lacerate up. It's fucking hard, especially when you want to keep like 100% uptime on lacerate, while keeping like maximal uptime on rake and rip. Me, I can get, like, if I'm really lucky, like if I do really perfect, I can get 100% uptime on lacerate. I can get about 90% uptime on rip, and I can get about 80% uptime on rake. And that's kind of what you want to aim for. Like, it's going to be difficult to keep higher than that. But if you're getting less than that, then you need to practice the easier version of the rotation. Okay. You also may have noticed that I have a macro for shift into bear form that automatically uses Enrage if it's available. And that's good. So the first time you swap, and so this is a 1 minute cooldown, so the first time you switch into bear form, you can Enrage, and then that will let you like mangle maul and like lacerate like 3 or 4 times. And go back, and that's like about the most you want to do, is like 4 GCDs in bear form, and then go back. And yeah, so like let me try this one more time. That's a long time for Rake to be falling off. Yeah, and I've gotten kind of used to like this is horrible. So I've gotten kind of used to like chilling out on like bear swapping and flower weaving because if you do it too much, you'll fuck up, right? So you want to kind of use it to the extent that you can, and like you want to be pushing your like target dummy damage, but you want to make sure you're keeping the basics nailed down. Like you don't want to be doing fancy shit if you're like letting your rake and your rip fall off too much. Like that's bad. So that's my take on that. So that's bear weaving. It's really hard, and yeah, just practice, dude. Like I've practiced so much, and I still can't make it perfect. So it's all about practice. So good luck.